Hey guys, welcome to my channel. I just want to give you a quick rundown of what I'm going to make in this video today so you don't waste any time and so that you know exactly what you're about to watch before you watch it. So I'm going to be making African black soap today in my crock pot, which is hot process. It's not the traditional way that black soap is made, but it can be made anyway. It really just mostly depends on the ingredient. So without any further ado, let's get into this video about how I made African black soap from home that I will sell. I'm gonna sell it. All right, let's jump into it. Oh, and since you're here, you might as well subscribe. Like, I probably have -5 subscribers, so that would be great. Thanks. Okay, so here we are going to measure out our lye for the soap, because you need lye to make soap, or at least the type of soap I'm making. So yeah, measuring the lye. This is my favorite little scale. I got it from Goodwill, like most of my things. But just filling the lye up. Always pour your, I'm about to mess up, so just wait till I do it. So now we're pouring out our lye. Be careful with your lye. Make sure you have the proper protection gear, gloves. I wear long sleeves, pants, because this stuff is, you know, it's not good for your skin in this form. Yeah, so I'm using plantain ash that I burnt, so just plantain skins. Plantains, not bananas, plantains, doesn't really matter, but I'm telling you what I used. Plantains, I burned them in my oven, and then I stored the ash for later use. You're supposed to use potash in authentic black soap, but I don't know where I put my potash. If you don't know what potash is, you can look it up. It's basically some type of clay used in African soap, African black soap, but I didn't have that today, so I'm going to be using kaolin clay, African kaolin clay, because I got it from an African store, so it has to be African, so that'll get us close enough. So this is going to go really quick. We are just measuring the water. I use distilled water because it's pure. And it melted the spoon a little bit. Well, not melted it, but it just made it bend because it's so hot. And I put that to the side. Then I clean up with my vinegar water solution spray. Well, it's just vinegar and water. So this here is the kaolin clay I mentioned earlier. I used my meat tenderizer and I smashed it into bits small enough for me to put into my mortar and to crush up. That's what you'll see me doing here until I get it into a nice powder, as you can see. I'll give you a top visual soon, but that's what it looks like from here. Here is my plantain ash that I burnt prior to this day, like a long time ago. It's just been sitting here. This is what it looks like. It's literally just plantains that I burnt in my oven, and I'm just going to pour a little bit of that in. We don't need much. It really doesn't take much to get the lye to the color we want. So we're gonna just crush that up. And yeah, my table is rocky if you haven't already noticed. So I did most of this in my kitchen. And yeah, this is a top view of it. It's just so pleasing to my eyes. My God, look at that. Look how ashy my hands are. But yeah, just crush it up really good until you feel like, I do it until I feel like, you know, it's at a point where it will definitely go through the strainer, because that's what we're gonna do. We're gonna strain this into the lye. just sprinkle it, move the spoon around. You're not going to get all of it. I don't worry about that because as you can see, the lye solution has already turned dark, and that's really all I really needed. So we're just going to stir that up, especially so we can get any lye that's settled, or just to mix this solution together really good before we put it in there with the soap, because you don't want to have to depend on using the stick blender to mix your lye. No, we need the stick blender because we want to mix the lye solution with the oils to produce a perfect trace, because you don't want to over trace. All right, now we're doing the oils. I always forget to do them, so I'm going to do it really quick because, excuse me, I want them to be melted down with the same temperature close to it as the lye and water solution. So this is avocado oil. They're very nourishing for the skin, so I always use this, or I like to use it in a lot of my soap recipes. And now we're using the olive oil, of course. Don't really have to go into why. And then, yeah, Crisco. I'm fast forwarding because it's hard to get out. And then this is the coconut oil. I had to stab it to get it out. And these are all the oils in the crock pot. I'm just gonna start breaking them down a little bit so they can melt quicker. I do have it on high, but that's just to melt the oils down. I will lower the temperature later. Really quick, I use Crisco because it has palm oil in it, and palm kernel seed oil in it, and a lot of other things I really need in my soap, and it's just easier for me to buy it that way. I've decided to go ahead and stick blend my hard oils because they're not melting fast enough. And I just pour in my lye solution once my oils have all melted down. And I'm just going to stir it with the stick blender first before we start actually blending. Just checking the temp again because I'm obsessed with it. But we've reached trace here, and we can go ahead and let it cook. We're going to scrape off the excess, and then we're going to cover it up. I just want to note that once it starts cooking, everything happens pretty fast. Look how pretty that is. So I covered it up, and this is about 15 minutes later. It's already cooking nicely. That's the texture we want throughout. So we're just going to mix that up so the heat can distribute evenly throughout the soap batch. I need a different spoon because this is about to break soon. You guys will notice the change soon. So we're just going to cover this back up and let it cook for an additional 15 minutes. This is about 15 to 20 minutes later. Maybe about 10-15 minutes. Make sure it's in a low setting though. And we're coming back again, and it happens fast. This is about 15 minutes later. Spoon's breaking. Just stir it up and mix the heat out. Now I've added my cocoa butter and a little piece of black soap, and I'm gonna let that sit and just marinate. And about 10 minutes later, I'm ready to batch, and this is what we have. Isn't it beautiful? So just to clarify, we know this soap was ready because it was this Vaseline-like texture throughout. It's perfect for batching. It's sticking straight to the mold, molding properly. So I'm just gonna slam it. I even had enough to make a mini one. So this is what we're with. And this is about 6 to 8 hours later. I'm just scraping off the edges, doing a temperature check. Soft in the middle, but nice and firm as well. So this is what we have, guys. What do you think? Let's do some cutting. So first let's unmold. We have to unmold it first. Nice and firm with a soft center, but not too soft. I think it's gonna unmold great, but that's because I've seen it already, but I thought this before I saw this, and I was right. Look at that clean, clear unmolding. I love it. That means the oils and everything. I don't know what it means, but it's great. That's what we want. Look at that. Look at that loaf. It's an African black soap loaf, guys. Look at it. It's beautiful. So yeah, let's do some cutting. Oh my God. So guys, my friend made me this cutting board. He says that I should probably upgrade, but you know, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. Even though I know I should be using a paper towel at the end there because I've cut my hand there plenty of times. But I was just so excited to cut this soap, guys, and see what it looks like in the middle because what? And I love it. Do you see the ash? The plantain ash marks? Oh my God. All right, so I'm just gonna cut this fast because, yeah. And I even had enough to make little samples, but this is a close-up, guys. What do you think? I love how they came out. I love the ash pieces, the charcoal, everything. Look at it in a loaf form, just beautiful. Look at that texture. Look at that on the side. Check this soap out and many others at my store, and don't forget to subscribe. Thanks for watching.